foundation is strong because Jehovah built it. You can feel the spirit and positive energy. Questions asked comfortably like you're talking with family. Get ready to settle in. Wait for the show to begin. Invite a couple of friends. It's time for Unhinged.
Introduce to you Get You Home Towing, a family company with the sole purpose to get you home. Whether you need roadside assistance or transport services, we have a flatbed big enough to transport any vehicle to its destination. Our offer to you is our gratitude and great service at a much cheaper price. We are also open to transport through long distances. If you need us, all you have to do is call that number. I'll see you soon.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Y'all all right? I mean, what's really going on? Thank you so much for tuning in. You've tuned into Unhinged Live. I'm your host, Nikita Tilted Halo Hansford, and I'm sitting alongside my good girlfriend, Karen Sims Harrell of Twisted Threads LLC. I'm sure you've seen the advertisement out here in these internet streets broadcasting this week's conversation. And listen, y'all get ready because we have what I can truly describe as a phenomenal woman sitting in with us on tonight. Now, before we get into the show rundown, I want to go ahead and say, hey, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us. To each and every one of our replay viewers, we appreciate your support. So listen, if you enjoy what's happening here on the platform, go ahead and tell somebody about the conversations on Unhinged Live. You know, the heartbeat of the platform is community over here, and we are really doing our best to make sure the testimonies are broadcasted very loud. So let's get into tonight's rundown. Of course, I'm going to give that weekly superfan shout out. We'll have our conversation with our guest on this evening. We'll shake our shoulders a little bit with tonight's musical break. And I kind of figured we would bring back an old segment, an oldie but goodie. I was today years old, and then we'll get into it. That roundtable discussion. What's really going on? So I got to take it back to the top. I got to ask you, Karen, it looked like we first spring,
almost
winter.
Almost.
How was your day?
My day was well. I'm just gonna blame the sunshine on me, since I celebrated my official birthday this weekend. So we've been celebrating all month long, but that the sun got to shine just a little bit brighter for me. I believe it. It was just for me, for my birthday. We're going to keep it going because I may or may not, my shirt say out of office. So I've been out of office for a couple of days. I like it. I need to do it more. So the sunshine is outside because I'm out there. That's why the flower comes here every day, so that we can welcome springtime all the time. And so I think Mother Nature got the message. We vibing together. So we just going to keep rocking till the wheels fall off. And thankfully that sunshine helps me with my solar powered self. So I'm almost fully charged. Come
on, solar powered. Okay. I see you, melanin blessed. Go ahead and power up in that sunshine. But to me, I'm in agreement with you about this here weather. It seems like Mother Nature took the advice and heard the cries of the people and took her medication, because she's been a little bipolar.
I think so.
We don't know if we get in tornadoes. We don't know if we get in snice. I call it snice when it's snowing and icing at the same time.
Yes.
Listen, she's trying to get her life together, but don't let this weather fool you. Don't let this weather fool you. This is the weather where many of us find ourselves in the random emergency room situation, the urgent care, because we forget how to properly drape ourselves in the pre-spring. What is this? We need to come up with a name for this season, Karen.
I mean, I just like the pre-spring. Like we almost sprung.
Pre-spring?
So I
Okay.
feel like we don't have to overcomplicate it. It is literally pre-spring. This is when we get the preview of spring in I think another 10 days. So it might be 9 or 10 days when spring actually officially shows up on our calendar. So this is the pre-spring. Yeah, I ain't gonna try hard.
All right. Well,
You come up with something else before it's over.
Yeah, I guess it's safe for me to wear my little Sheen jacket. It won't be disrespected in this piece of weather.
That's true.
Well, you got to be careful.
I
Anyway,
know.
let me move this show along. Let me move the show along because I see we got a little light outside, and we got to make sure we let our guests in the room, okay?
Yes.
Because we got to keep up our stellar reputation of hospitality over here. So
Love
can I get that drum roll, please, Karen, for this week's Superfan
yes.
shout-out?
As we get all the way here we go. Oh wait, somebody might be outside already while we trying to press the drum roll.
All right. Thank you so much, DJ Cash. Check it out, y'all. Lean in close. I gotta go ahead and give a huge shout out to a young lady who's been a part of my life for quite some time. I've had the opportunity to watch her grow up in the ranks of being a high school cheerleader, a fabulous dancer on the sidelines. I witnessed her go off to experience her college career, watched her graduate, and then I watched her experience life. And let me tell you something. I had the opportunity to spend some time with her and her family a few years ago, and we had one of them heart-to-heart conversations. I got to go ahead and say her name. Her name is Princess. I call her Princess because, I'm the auntie. Shanice Broom. I got to give a shout out to my baby girl, Shanice Broom. Thank you. Go ahead and clap it up for this young woman.
Yes.
This young woman has truly stepped into her own and is an entire vibe. We got to witness some of Shanice's choreography this past weekend at the fashion show fundraiser from Broadway to the Runway that was given by Seth and Company. And let me tell you, Shanice and how she worked with that group of exceptional young adults. This event is held as a fundraiser for the disabled community here in the Lehigh Valley. And to watch her go through the choreography with these special young adults, it absolutely warmed my heart. And the night of the show, let me just say, sister showed up and she showed out with her beautiful self. So I want to go ahead and say, I love you, Shanice. I'm very, very, very proud of the work you're doing with the partner that you took the time to introduce me to this past weekend. I am excited about where your feet are going to carry you. Keep dancing, dear one. Keep dancing. No matter how the music of life changes, you better keep you a 1-2 step because it fosters your creativity.
Yes.
So thank you so much for trusting the love I have for you. And I adore the love you have for me. Shout out to you, Shanice Broom. So
love it. Now before we move on, I gotta tell you, because Shanice is one of ours. One of the ones that the whole family claims. Can I say it that way? Oh, yeah. Those who know us know that my family is a little bit picky about who they let tag on as family. But Shanice was also one of the former recipients of the Linda Perry Sims Scholarship. That's right. And so we've been with her from high school, went to a couple of those gymnastic and cheerleading events. And literally, you love people when you sit there in the crowd and you're like, why are we here again? Oh, yeah, to let these kids yell and scream. And we're going to clap for them while they're yelling and screaming. So to see the beautiful young woman that she is and the passion that she shares with the community, it just warms our heart. So shout out. We love you, Shanice, the whole entire Broom family. But the light that, Shanice, you are shining, it is just such a wonderful thing to see. We've got so much hope for our next generation, and we get to put our auntie hat on tilted when we watch and see the beautiful work that she's doing. Beautiful.
Oh yeah. Yeah, to be an auntie is a beautiful transition. Oh yeah, especially when you were auntie that got a little cash. Got a
Ooh.
little cash. Okay. So check it out. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. I had the amazing opportunity to meet tonight's guest at the networking event that was recently held by our sister in the craft, Brianna Ofosu. And I promise you, it was like I could have stood there and spoke with this woman all night, because even before I knew a portion of her story, I just knew she was somebody that I needed to talk to and that y'all needed to know. She is a doctor. She is a mother. She is a wife. I saw this the other day in the advertisement, because y'all know I'll be out here nosy in these internet streets. A memoirist. Get a little pinky in the air. Look at that. She's a memoirist. She's a blogger. She is everything. And I guess it's safe to say that she really is every woman. Go ahead and let her in, Karen.
Yay. Welcome. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello,
Welcome.
beautiful. Welcome to Unhinged Live. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You're more than welcome. And I hope to have you back again soon, after you write your next project. So listen, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, of course.
All right. I always start the conversation out with asking you a little bit about yourself. Would you mind sharing? I've already shared your mom, your wife, a bit of the work you do in the community. Can you share with us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So, like all of those things, I'm a wife, I'm a physician, I'm an anesthesiologist, and I'm an ICU doctor. I am a wife to a geriatrician, and then we have 5 amazing, magnificent little ones, 5 under 5. And I am a memoirist. I released my book about 2 years ago. And it's a coming of age story, and it's a unique story about me growing up as the daughter of a notorious Vietnamese kingpin and a teenage immigrant mother from Vietnam, and our lives on the run, essentially. I'm also the vice president of a hospital in Orwigsburg. I'm the first female minority vice president to serve that position since that hospital opened. So I'm super proud of that, and I try to lead inclusivity and diversity at that hospital, and that I'm a blogger. Yes, I blog. My blog is called Mixed Feelings Mama. And it's about motherhood, because it's the hardest thing ever, the hardest and most beautiful thing ever. But it's complicated, and you're constantly evolving. And my way of coping with that is writing about it, because I'm not sure society paints an accurate picture of what it's like to be a mother, a working mother, especially in this day and age. So I write it to decompress and hopefully let other mothers understand that it's not always rainbows and butterflies, and that's totally fine.
I love that part. I love what you
I
say, Felicia. Yeah, with the it's not always rainbows and butterflies, right? Because we have mothers of every flavor. That's how I'm gonna say it. Who us between the two of us. So I am a mother of 5. So when you said that 5 for under 5, it like took me back literally 30 years, and it's like, oh my goodness. But you will survive. right? And you will thrive. And then you got wonderful stories. And so I love that you've got a platform where you're able to talk about motherhood and all of that. And so, Keita, you know how I get when I start crushing on all of the details. So I'm gonna let you ask the question before I dig all the way in, because we may go somewhere very. Grab your passports, y'all. Y'all know how I say. You never know where we're gonna end up when we start these conversations. Good stuff. Well, I'm gonna jump in, Felicia, and just ask. So, like, you in 90 seconds or less literally told us how you are running the entire world, right? And so your world of all of the titles, all of the things. How do you manage the balance between professional and wife and motherhood? So professional and family. How do you manage that?
Well, I want to start off with saying that I don't think I have balance. In order to do all of these things as a woman, it's not balance. It's juggling. And
Love it.
sometimes, when I'm a really good doctor, I'm not maybe not the best mom that week. And when I'm a really good mom, I might be not answering an email until like 5 days later. But that's okay. Like, that's not balance, but it's okay. And how I do it is I've become okay with that. We're just human. And I've also am not afraid to ask for help. Back in the day, there was a village and there was aunties and grandmas and friends. They all lived in the same neighborhood and they could help you and they cooked with you and they were your companion. And it's not like that anymore. Like, my sister lives in Virginia, my mom lives in New Hampshire. My in-laws live in Boston, and it's not like that anymore. So my village now is my nanny, my husband, my babysitter, DoorDash when I can't cook, when I can't, it's Instacart when I can't get to the grocery store. And that's my village. And I'm totally okay with it because that's how I've accommodated to, this day and trying to be all the things for everybody and have a little bit of mental health
We are
amidst
here
all of
for
that.
it. We are here
And
for
don't be ashamed of it. If you can hire a cleaning service, do it. You want to spend that time. If you are blessed enough to be able to do that, what I say is, like, I don't want to spend my time cleaning every 2 weeks. Like, I'd rather spend that time taking my kids out or being present. Because there's so many times where I'm like, no, just I can't play with you right now. I gotta finish the dishes. But, like, who cares about the dishes? Like, go play with their kids, because in a blink of an eye, they're not gonna want to play with you anymore.
is a fact. Love it.
So that's how I do it.
Listen,
I've let go of the idea of balance, and I am not afraid to ask for lots of help.
Beautiful.
you are just so refreshing right now. As I was listening to you speak, it's like you helped lift this 500-pound weight off of my shoulders. And I had the thought that we as women, we're expected to be so dainty and well put together and so perfect. I know personally, and I really, before we hopped on tonight, there was a thread out and they were in the sink. And I have no problem leaving dishes in my sink, because for me, it's a situation where I give myself grace and I don't let anybody judge me for it. No one knows the schedule that I keep. No one knows the life that I live. The dishes are okay in the sink. And guess what? They'll get washed.
Yeah.
But, like you said, I don't wear down. As long as I can, whenever I can, preferably somewhere on the beach and in the sunshine. That's my favorite way to decompress. So we did mention the blog, and I took time to read a few of your writings there, and one that really, really resonated with me, your husband.
Yeah.
And I appreciated your writing style and acknowledging how you were feeling when you were writing it. So I guess my question to you would be, as we're speaking of balance in our village, what does I can imagine your husband does play a major part in your village. But is there anything that he does particularly that stands out to make sure you stay in contact with who Felicia is?
Oh my goodness. This could be its own podcast episode. He's done so much to keep me Felicia. Like it's like he's done more for me than I've probably even done for myself. Sometimes it feels like even the book itself, it was like, how am I supposed to write a book? Like, it's not glamorous. It's hard work to write a book, to finish, and it's a memoir. So I didn't want anybody else to write one word of it. Like every edit, I wanted to do all of it. And he essentially I had a baby, our third baby. He took our baby, he took our 2 year old and our 1 year old, and he booked me an Airbnb for 3 weeks. And he says, I will take care of the kids. I took 1 month of paternity leave. I'll take care of the kids. You go write. Like, you go write, you let it all out. Is it your therapy? Like, you do it, you finish that passion project. Um, you deserve that uninterrupted space and momentum to be creative. As a mom, you're constantly being interrupted. Like, I can't even go to the bathroom or take a shower. So he did that for me. This book wouldn't even exist without him. I don't know any other, I don't know any other family that's even had a story close to that. And the crazy thing is, like, I was like, are you sure? It was his idea, 100%. 100%. I never even thought that was a possibility. But like, what I have learned from my husband is that he makes all things possible. And that's like 100% because he loves me so much. I'm like so, so lucky.
Beautiful.
And the abiding love you have for him absolutely comes through in how you wrote about him.
Mhm.
Speaking of the writing, the title of your book is Spirit of a Hummingbird. And
Mhm.
listen, I was talking to your book, girl, as I was reading it. Like, what?
Mhm.
What now? Okay. And as I was reading it, first of all, the words that I was reading did not match the person that's sitting before us now. So that speaks a whole lot about you, and the work of self that you've done over the years. And you did
Yeah.
speak about that some in your book. Can you give
Mhm.
our listeners a brief synopsis of what was one of my favorite parts of the book when y'all really started running? Y'all really started running. I believe you were around the age of 7. Um,
Mhm.
I can imagine that that's where you hold the most memories, or would begin to hold the most memories. What
Yeah.
was like for you? This book, girl, it's amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, around that. So the premise of the book is that my mom is a teenager. She immigrates from Vietnam by herself without her family, and she meets another Vietnamese immigrant, and she had been adopted by an American family and was given a lot of resources, but she was missing that sense of belonging. You know, so I think she like fell very deep in love with my dad, finds out he's a prominent gangster, and she gets pregnant with me, runs away with him, and she doesn't find out until later he's a gangster. He tells her that he runs a restaurant or something like that. And then of course it unfolds. Where it gets a little bit intense is that he gets arrested for armed robbery of a jewelry store in Chinatown, Boston, and they put him in prison. He's found guilty. They put him in prison. He escapes prison, and um, we go on the run. Like, he escapes prison and he's evading authorities. So initially, like you said, when I was a little bit younger, they thought it was a better idea to just leave me with his parents, my grandparents, and go on the run on their own. But when he continued to run, and at the same time, he wasn't laying low. He was building a gangster who's building organized crime and expanding, and his power was growing. The surveillance just went higher and higher. And eventually, they had to take me with them. My mom wasn't going to leave me with his parents forever. So they bring me with him, and we are going to Canada, coming back. I'm not really going to school. I'm switching schools. I don't really know what's going on because I didn't have friends. So I didn't really know what normal was supposed to look like. And I didn't stay put long enough where I could see like a schedule or routine or normalcy. So I knew I had like weird feelings, but I didn't know why because I didn't understand the situation. So that is a lot of where, that my childhood trauma was during that age. I think because there's such a disconnect, like you with a childhood perspective and mentality, like you can't understand, but you go through the feelings, but you don't understand the situation. So it creates this trauma and like um yeah, I went through it. I went through it, and I don't think it wasn't until I was a woman, a grown woman, and I was realized like I can't be myself because I don't know. I didn't understand what was going on in my past. And I spent a lot of time trying to not remember. I avoided it because I was afraid that I was going to be hurtful and painful. So I intentionally tried to forget about it. But then when became older and I was in a good place and I was stable and I was finally like I trusted that I was going to be okay. I was like, okay, now I'm ready to go back and dive deeper and understand and peel back the layers. So I could like be myself essentially because I wasn't living in my own truth. So yeah, there was a lot of craziness that transitioned to some more craziness, but good craziness.
Yes, there was a lot going on in your young
Mhm.
life, Felicia, and
Yeah.
and you were just talking about peeling back the layers to find your true self.
Hmm.
Sister, I'm touching the screen because I can relate to you. Because I have a similar story, not necessarily living life on the run, but being a foster child and being moved from place to place and not having the stability. Again,
Yeah.
as you mentioned, having these emotions, feeling them, but not
Yeah.
necessarily knowing what to do with them. And then
Hmm.
finding Kita. As you were talking, I was like, wow, finding Felicia.
Yeah.
Finding Felicia has been a joy to from what I know of you to this point. Because we wouldn't be having this conversation if you didn't do the work, that
Mhm.
internal soul work that was required, to
Mhm.
just put pen to paper and write it all down.
Yeah.
Was there any particular moment that said, that was the pinnacle moment where you were like, hey, I've got to do this work? What was there any one thing that's made you just dive into it?
I wouldn't say it was one thing, but I think I think what did happen was I was not good at being in relationships. And a lot of that when I look back and when I did my self-work, it's because my understanding of love, my father was abusive. He was verbally abusive, he was emotionally abusive. Wasn't the greatest father. He abandoned us. He cheated on my mom. And then he would say, "I love you." So my idea of love was so misconstrued, and it was playing into my relationships. And then when I met my husband, I was like, oh, I cannot mess this one up. I can't, like, I cannot risk losing this because I'm not willing to figure out why I'm like this. I'm difficult, or I don't know what it was. So I think I started to be okay with it. And then when he was okay with it and he was so supportive of it, was when I fully accepted that, I have to do this, and I have to do it for not just myself, but like everyone that I have a relationship with, and have a healthy relationship, a healthy marriage, and be a decent mother. Break that pattern. Like, you have to break the pattern. Like, I had to break it for my kids, and I had to do it in a timely manner, not like when they're grown, like now, like when I was pregnant.
Yes.
So I think starting a family was definitely a huge, huge factor.
Absolutely, absolutely, because we use the term here all the time. We are curse breakers over around these parts, and we
Mhm.
understand in order to break a generational curse, as we refer to it, you've
Mhm.
got to do the intentional work of changing yourself. I
Mhm.
was speaking with Karen earlier today, and I was making mention of, sometimes people find themselves in, these repeating cycles simply because they refuse to change their choice, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Um, we were talking about relationships. A lot of time we find that there are women walking around and they got a little tinge of anger with it when they're screaming,
Mhm.
I'm every woman and I don't need no man. But there are
Yeah.
some of us who translate that differently when we hear it, because we
Mhm.
recognize that it comes from a place of unresolved trauma. We,
Yeah.
yeah, we've got to do that work of uprooting, like, why. The
Yeah.
simple journalism 101, right? The who,
Mhm.
the what, the when, the where, and the why. We want to
Absolutely.
get to the why, so that when we share our stories, they empower and they uplift, much like your story has done. Absolutely, for me, it's very inspiring and uplifting. And it's a reminder in writing for anybody who wants to read it that ain't nothing stopping you but you. Um, you
Exactly.
should have a shirt that says, Felicia, I am unstoppable. Um, yeah,
I
you
love
really
it.
should.
I
I,
love it. I love it.
I fell in love with the part of the book where you took the trip to Barcelona.
Hmm.
And you had a chance meeting with a woman who basically gave you the title of your book. Got
Yeah,
you. Yeah, I remember I asked you.
I know. I said it would be very, very obvious.
There it is. There it is, right there. She got me. She wanted to make sure I was reading the entire book to get to the answer.
That's so funny.
So uh, we know what the spirit of the hummingbird. Okay, can you share with us what the hummingbird, what the woman shared with you? There's a reason why I'm asking you to share that
Okay.
piece. What did she share with you about that hummingbird?
So, this woman, she was like a street artist. She was drawing um, a hummingbird, and I asked her what she was drawing. She said a hummingbird, and she's like, "Do you?" And then she started to say like, "Who are you here with?" And I was there by myself, and she's like explaining me the meaning of hummingbird, how it represents like positivity and tenacity, and whatever you may be going through, the spirit of a hummingbird will guide you through it, you know, with joy and light. And that's exactly what the hummingbird symbolizes. Um, and just so fitting, I think, that moment for the title of this book.
Hmm. So I wanted you to speak about the colorfulness that the hummingbird represents, of course, because you have five little minis. And can I ask you, do any of your children mimic the spirit of the hummingbird like you do?
I think they all do. I think they all do. They're all so different, but they all have like this, they have this unstoppable energy, and they already have like this really, really awesome sense of confidence. Uh which is amazing. And they're, I mean, all kids are kind of like this, but like they're so curious, and they they know what they want. And like my the girl that I had when I wrote this book, like she doesn't take no for an answer. My oldest daughter, she knows that if she works hard, she'll be able to do anything. um my son is like, he is a walking like spirit of the hummingbird. Like he's just so joyful and like can make anyone feel better, and he lets things go so easily. It's like amazing. And he lets it go and he moves on, and he doesn't let anything ruin his day, which I love. That's definitely the spirit of the hummingbird. And then my 2-year old, she she thinks she can do what you can do, even though she's 2. She's independent, she's fierce, she's outspoken. And then Aaliyah, like my little one, my 9 month, we don't know too much, but all I know is she's the happiest baby ever. Like she doesn't fuss. She just rolls with the punches. She's easygoing, and like she fits right in. So they all have a piece of it. And it's a beautiful thing to watch.
I'd love it. I love it. Now, Felicia, I gotta ask, you sharing your story, and how it connects to your family. What is your hope for readers of your story and of the book?
Yeah. So my hope is that it inspires. And my hope is that everyone has a story. Every single person has a story, and everyone struggles. Like no one had a perfect upbringing, and all your struggles are unique, and how they affect you is unique. And it doesn't undermine, like my story shouldn't undermine anybody else's. My story should like prompt you to reflect on what you've been through, and encourage people to truly be relentless in your pursuit of happiness, because you only have this one life. Like don't let the past define who you are now, and don't use it as an excuse. Like you use the present and just keep moving forward. Like it is, the human spirit is so strong. I almost like feel like we don't give it enough credit, but like
Mm,
we all need to tap into that, because it's there. It's human, right? It's the human experience. Tap into it, understand it. Don't be afraid of it anymore. Take over the narrative, and don't let like the generational trauma and the issues you had have power over you. Like you need to take it over. You take the power over, take the narrative, and turn it into like a story of triumph. And that's everybody. That's not just me. It's everyone.
I love it. I got all the feels, all of the goosebumps, all of the things, and I have started reading the book, and so now I know more of like I'm excited to even dig
Oh,
in some more to your story, and just to see the strength that we see before us today. It just is miraculous as we're thinking about like such greats, such light, the love that you have. And Tilted, I and Felicia, I have to mention, because Tilted knows she is sort of like my unauthorized but certified sort of marriage counselor. And so when you were talking about I don't want to mess this up, so we're like what, a year and a half in to marriage, and it's one of those things that as I walk through it, sort of having that time to sit with myself, right? Because I tell my husband often, nope, it's me. I'm the problem. It is me. I'm the problem. But to have the time to reflect, right, on
Mhm.
what are the things that I know I need to address for myself. And so hearing you talk about the journey of even being ready, not just for marriage, but also releasing this story and the power that it will show and the resource it'll be to your children. Like it just, I'm
Mhm.
sitting over here like, I'm quiet, but I'm in my moment, Tilted. You already know. I'm like, yes, all of the things, the encouragement, because such a gift that you are giving your children. And you know, we got to shout out because our comment streets are popping, Tilted. So I'm gonna go over to our comments just to ask the question. We got Rhonda tonight. We love you, sis. Thanks for joining us. And she asks, do you find yourself tapping into your culture when raising your children?
That's a great question. So I think a lot of people I think know maybe that when I'm a first generation Vietnamese. So, but when my mom immigrated here, like especially was during that very tenuous time at the end of the war, it was she tried to acclimate us to Western culture. So, I don't speak Vietnamese. I did speak Cantonese, which is a dialect of Chinese, but I don't anymore. And I think a lot of that was because I was trying to acclimate and fit in and make my transition into Western culture as seamless as possible. We all have an American name and we all have an Asian name, and that's why, so that other people can pronounce our names, right?
Mm,
Um, so I do tap into the things that I think one, like we always celebrate Lunar New Year, and that's because we've done that when I was growing up. And to say that I would teach my kids Vietnamese is like so I would love it, but I can't do it, and that's okay because my kids are mixed and everyone, I think families now, like you create your own culture, right? We create our own traditions and like we pick and choose what we want, and I try to show them a little bit just to expose them to it because that's part of them, and it's so beautiful, right? And it actually gives me an opportunity to learn about my own culture too. So like even the books, and like I take that opportunity to also try to learn about my own stuff. And I want to travel. We travel a lot, and it'll be important for me to take them to Vietnam. um, so yeah, it's like we do incorporate culture, we create our own culture, and that's okay. Like for so long, I was so ashamed about not being able to speak Vietnamese, you know? And but it's like this is America. Like you can speak and not speak whatever you want and it's fine, and you
yes.
can look any certain way and not speak anything that you look like, and that's just how it is, and that's amazing. It's like you literally cannot judge any book by its cover. And like my husband and I now have this amazing opportunity to just create our own culture too and tap into the beautiful things that we like and we find fun and we want to share, but we don't have to do all of it.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. Thanks, Rhonda, for that question and beautiful answer.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thanks, Rhonda.
Just beautiful, just beautiful. I'm looking at the clock and I really do not want this conversation to end because it's to quote the great Lionel Richie and the Commodores, it's easy like Sunday morning,
Mhm.
just flowing like water. But of course, we do have a little bit of
Mhm.
ground to carry. Much like yourself, Karen, I want to go ahead and acknowledge some of the people that are keeping it lit, popping in through the comment streets. Shout out to our girl Shelby Lawson of Lawson
Yes.
Accessories for showing love. Shout out to you. Thank you for showing us love in the comment street, sis. We got our brother Bliv Mash out here sharing the podcast over there on his networking street. So salute to you, brother. We're gonna have that on-screen mashup on next week. We see Miss Luxurious Seduction and our sister queen, the producer of our show intro, Miss Valerie Martin Higginbottom, um,
Yes.
joining us on tonight. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Y'all are tuned in to Unhinged Live. It's your girl Tilted Halo, sitting alongside my good girlfriend Karen Sims Harrell of Twisted Threads LLC. And we are having a marvelous conversation with tonight's guest, Felicia Thai Heath, mom extraordinaire.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. Before we transition and get into our music break, where you get to watch Coach Karen turn into a DJ Cash, I want to go ahead and ask you if you would mind sharing with our viewers and listeners how they can connect with you. Do you have email? Do you have the Facebook, the TikToks, the Instagrams? How can they connect with you?
Oh, yes. I'm very active on Instagram. My handle is at Felicia.Heath_MD. I'm also on TikTok, Felicia Thai Heath, all one word. And you can reach out to me there and I will certainly respond to you. My blog is www.mixedfeelingsmama.com. And my book is everywhere. It can be found anywhere books are sold. Also available on Audible and Kindle.
Yes, I did manage to find a copy of it in Spotify myself.
I'm on the Audible train, so thank you for when I say that. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So you hear that, y'all. For those of y'all who got a little bit of the ADHD, much like myself, I actually sat down and read the most of the book. But then life started lifing and the audio came in handy. So you heard it from Miss Felicia herself. You can get this book. Get this book, y'all. I don't know if you saw one of Sister Rhonda's earlier comments, but the movie. Yes, I girl, maybe that's just God speaking through me to you, Miss Felicia. You need to go ahead and do that documentary.
Yes, the vision of the book is a movie, is the big screen. Because right now, I feel like I've limited my audience to people that can read English. So if I want the influence to be global, it has to be in picture, big picture.
Oh, yes. Yes. And just know that your sister in here at Unhinged Live will be praying with you that you gain access to every zip code and area code that God has for you. Because one of my favorite scriptures, you know, I'm a whole faith girl over here. My favorite scripture is Revelation 12:11. And it speaks of overcoming the adversary by sharing our testimonies. So thank you again for joining us tonight, Felicia, and sharing your testimony with the world. It is absolutely life-changing, empowering, and encouraging. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. We are fitting to get into it. Okay. Y'all know I'm a queen age or a woman of a certain age. I have to stretch a little bit because I've been in this chair after sitting in the chair for 7 hours all day. And we're about to get our shimmy shake on. I see headphones coming up. And did you just watch her transform, Felicia? She didn't transform.
Yes, I did.
She waving her hands in the air, just like she just don't care.
Life of the party.
Go ahead, take it away, DJ Cash.
For sure. Listen, you all know that we do our best to try to come and share positivity across the airwaves. Tonight, we are celebrating with one of our tribe family, Bertie McKinney. We already know he just gives us awesome bangers, right? So this is one from his newest project, but I love it, Tilted, because you know what the title is? What's the title,
girl?
Stand on business.
We standing on
business. And so tonight we want to bring that to you all. And you know, I'm gonna do my wicka and get us into the DJ set here. But the biggest thing is, Bertie, you know we love you. We always are looking to support. This is from his Mental Impact Project. And so we're gonna hear a little bit about what Bertie says about standing on business. Here we go.
Walking like
like I talk it, gotta get it how I live it. Eternal salvation, yeah, boy, I'm with it. Not afraid of death. Jesus already did it. When it comes to his kingdom, I'ma stand on business. I'ma stand on the business. I'ma stand on the business. Yeah, I'ma stand strong. I'ma stand on the business. Stand on. I'ma stand on the business. Yeah, I'ma stand strong. Back up in these streets, I gotta seek the Lord. Be neither hot or cold, birdie, keep a torch. I let the truth be told when I speak the Lord. The goals will reach the soul, that's what I'm preaching for. The word is necessary, it can't be ignored. Time to study in the Bible's what I'm preaching for. The words of mystery that needs to be explored. I'm sold out for Christ, I gotta seek the moment outside and I'm gon' ride. It's not both the king. I won't duck and I won't hide, I abide by the king. Stand 10 toes on his word, the truth what we bring. Going all in for the kingdom and rep for the team. Walking like I talk it, gotta get it how I live it. Eternal salvation, yeah, boy, I'm with it. Not afraid of death. Jesus already did it. When it comes to his kingdom, I'ma stand on business. I'ma stand on it business. I'ma stand on the business. Yeah, I'ma stand strong. I'ma stand on the business. Stand on. I'ma stand on the business. Yeah, I'ma stand strong. I'm out here with these sharks, these streets are like an ocean. But I'm covered by the blood, causing commotion. Blood, wade in the water, you can see me floating. Backstroking in the spirit, straight Holy Ghost. Many doors are broken, God can get them open. Strapped with the word, yeah, I'm Bible token. Talk about the Father and I lure him in. Hook, line, and sinker, I'm a fisherman. Sink or swim, watch me float them off the boat. Let's go until the end, bringing hope with every note. The enemy is in the scope, I want to smoke. All or nothing for my guy, we go for broke. Walking like I talk it, gotta get it how I live it. Eternal salvation, yeah, boy, I'm with it. Not afraid of death. Jesus already did it. When it comes to his kingdom, I'ma stand on business. I'ma stand on it business. I'ma stand on the business. Yeah, I'ma stand strong. I'ma stand on the business. Stand on. I'ma stand on the business. Yeah, I'ma stand strong. Walking like I talk it, gotta get it how I live it. Eternal salvation, yeah, boy, I'm with it. Not afraid of death. Jesus already did it. When it comes to his kingdom, I'ma stand on business. I'ma stand on it business. I'ma stand on it business. Yeah, I'ma stand strong. I'ma stand on it business. I'ma stand on it business. Yeah, I'ma stand strong.
Hey, that part.
That part. Is you busy standing on business, Karen?
I am standing on business. I love it.
Yeah, I'm going to stand on. Now is right. So check it out. Girl, I got to bring back this here segment. I was today years old, Karen. Now, why are you looking at me in that tone of voice? You know, I always got to come up with something. Now, you know,
I know. That's why I'm drinking my water and staying hydrated, because I'm not sure where we about to go.
Make sure you stay in my biz, because that's, you know, that we on live tonight, okay? I was today years old, you know, because I have the most curious thoughts sometimes, and sometimes I do follow the rabbit hole and just be in it. Now, you heard me make mention of Mother Nature seemingly have, you know, taken her medication and trying to get things balanced out. Have some good sunshiny, warm weather coming upon us soon. And it brought me to the thought of global warming and some of the contributors to global warming. And girl, I know you saw I had wrote down the oysters, right?
I'm waiting.
Girl, I was today years old when I found out that oysters are flatulent. Or that oysters actually fart. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Well, I was today years old when I found out this foolishness. And I call it foolishness because, again, you just heard me talk about myself all on live StreamYard television. Listen, I was today years old when I found out that oysters actually fart. And I had to go further down the rabbit hole. Do you want to take this journey with me real quick, Karen?
I don't think there's an exit, so I'll
No,
be
you
here.
really can't go nowhere. You're stuck with me for at least another 35 minutes.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, I notice I thought global warming and oyster farts. First of all, y'all be eating them things that poop at the oyster bar. They pooped, y'all. So what I found.
I know. Okay. All right. I'm rolling with you, girl.
I did not know that oysters they passed gas that way, but oysters and other shellfish can produce methane and dimethyl sulfide, which can contribute to smelly gas and climate change. All right. So I wonder. They say that oysters have been passing gas on the bottom of the sea for long before climate change was a thing. So if we now know that oysters pass gas, do you think shrimp do too?
I'm gonna say yeah. I believe so.
You believe so?
Me. I believe that they do.
It do had a little brown thing that we got.
I'm just saying, we got to cut it and clean it, and I ain't really sure,
Yeah, but yeah, I just kind of found that to be quite interesting. Similar to how we found out that bananas were actually considered a berry that one time on the show back in the day.
Thank you for reminding me. That one I knew. This one, I'm not sure where we're going. So, where we came from.
It was my thoughts on global warming, and I don't know why oysters popped into my mind. And since we are in the age of technology, we've got all of this artificial intelligence. I figured anything I want to know, we always invite our audience to take advantage of the Googleations and the different search engines. They got the Safari, they got the Edge, they got all of them there to help you get to the information you need to know and the information you may not necessarily need to know, like this foolery that I'm sharing with you all on tonight about.
No nosy Rosie left behind. How about that? So if you think you can find out more about it.
Exactly. And yeah, I don't know why I needed to know this information.
I'm pretty sure I didn't need to know it, but I am informed.
Hey, it's a conversation starter. It's a thing.
It is.
Now imagine what somebody else might discover should they go further down this rabbit hole than I did. I had to stop myself because, of course, we are hosting a guest on this evening, and I needed to make sure that I had my hind parts in here sooner rather than later. So I just popped up out the rabbit hole.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you. I'm proud of me, Karen.
I'm proud of you too. Yeah.
Sometimes I get there and I stay there.
I try not to tell on you. I let you tell on yourself, but you're right. You're right.
Hey, I know who I am. Yes. Knowing is half the battle.
Yes, it is. G.I. Joe.
What is that, Rhonda? You said you don't eat them, so you good? You don't eat the oysters?
I don't eat oysters either, Rhonda. So something else that we have in common. Love you so much. But all y'all who eating the farting oysters, we support you.
I'm saying, what would you do if you pulled up to the oyster bar if that was your thing?
We say ignorance is bliss. We say ignorance is bliss. In this particular vein, I feel like we can insert that statement there because this is something I'm not going to order them if I know this. But then we do know other stuff about other animals and people still, consume. So I didn't know. We got the farting oysters. So
we got the farting oysters, girl. I didn't know, Rhonda.
Y'all need to support my reason for not eating them because I really never had a reason. I'm just like, no, that's just not my thing. I don't care if they're oysters, Oscar, De La Rente, De La Hoya. I don't care what you do with them, Francisco. You can do whatever you want to do with them, oysters. You know where you gonna find them in when they in front of me? Still in front of me. That's where you gonna find them. So
no longer cold, but lukewarm on your plate, just there.
I will share.
Okay, listen. Well, I can tell you, I too am part of the tribe of I don't eat the oysters. Someone thought something was wrong with me because I'm like, first of all, what is it? Salmonella, food poisonings of all different kind, bacteria. I don't know if them things is clean. How do you clean the inside of an oyster? That part. Did you want that? Is that finger? Is that that part finger? Yeah.
Yeah, because listen, I done posted what Rhonda said. All I want from an oyster is the pearls, okay? That's it. I will go ahead and do what you need to do. So what? Now we got to research, Rhonda. What exactly is the pearl? Is the pearl a poop or a tumor? You see what tilted start? We ain't come here for this, but here we are trying to figure out what exactly. Man, you know I don't normally do this, but I feel like that.
It's been a while since you've done that, and I'm so grateful that I've sent you down to the Googleation so you find out what the pearl is made of since we in this oyster conversation. Rhonda said that the pearl is the poop.
Well, I think she, you know, Rhonda, she be co-signing with me. Rhonda, we gonna fact check ourselves. Something that other people need to do. We not like them, okay? Everybody else singing, they not like us. We not like them. We gonna fact check, see where these things is. Yeah, well, we might be right. We'll get back to y'all by next week because we got conflicting details on exactly what is a pearl. So
I thought it was a collection of different sand and things like that in the mouth.
So it is.
Oh,
but do that mean it's the crush from our eyes, right? Or is it the saliva when we get good sleep? I'm trying to figure out what's the analogy to the oyster. Like, is the pearl the start of that crust that we all wipe off our eye, and should we keep it there? You see what happened when I spent too much time with Tilty? These are questions y'all get from me.
Do I need to put my pearls in some bleach and disinfect them just in case?
I don't know.
Yay!
This is why y'all gotta come back next week, because by next week, the cat's out the bag. You gonna see the announcements, but we officially have to bring the tribe back so that we can study the history of the perla.
The perla. What is this? Yeah. That's a story about life, Rhonda. That's a whole
beauty from ashes, right? Like, it makes sense. It makes sense
for real.
This wasn't my fault. I would just like to give the disclaimer. I did not come here to talk about no oysters. They poop or they fart, but here we are trying to figure out how we gonna cultivate some pearls by next week. All right, I'm putting my phone away. Y'all know I try to stay professional, and we're usually on here. Like, what is the conversation of the day? We had such an amazing and refreshing time with Felicia, right? Here we go. And now we gonna do our studies on pearls. That's all we're gonna do. Okay.
We're gonna study pearls. And just one more hint of information about the oyster flatulence. And see, we try to use our words, flatulence. If you look it up, y'all, look it up if you don't know. Again, it was relative to climate change, and this is something that says that a study published in the Scientific Reports Journal shows that clams, mussels, oysters produce 1/10 of methane and nitrous oxide. That contributes to global warming.
Oh.
So, yeah, hold on. Mussels and oysters produce 1/10 of methane and nitrous oxide gases in the Baltic Sea as a result of digestion. Therefore, researchers have warned that shellfish may play an important but overlooked role in regulating greenhouse gas production. So, yeah, they're a gift. They're a gift. They sound like more than a curse to me, but it's just,
They are a gift. They
yeah,
are.
I'm saying they're a gift. You get pearls from them, even if we don't know if it's pearl, oyster slobber or oyster eye boogies that we wearing.
We don't know. We don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, but I'm sure that the tribe will bring it, and Rhonda is on it, and she's asking me to leave the oysters alone. I'm not going to leave the oysters alone, Rhonda. I might actually make my way to your office tomorrow and talk more about the oysters. Maybe
Well, she did give us a moment to talk about a little bit more about the diamonds. So there we go. So you never know with the oysters. There might be a very lovely story. Let me see. They are a gift to clean the bottom of the ocean. Them and SpongeBob SquarePants. There we go. All right.
All right.
They did
And
a job.
that's whoop, there it is. So I'm looking at the time. And we got time to get into it.
Y'all drink your water. Stay hydrated out there, because we normally sometimes we're not sure. Here we go. Hydrated.
We're getting ready to get into that conversation. We got to make our own music. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. What's really going on?
What's really going on? What's really going on?
What's really going on?
What's
really going on?
On and on and on and on and on.
Halos is kind of tilted. Conversations with halos is kind of tilted. I like that part.
Yeah.
Conversations with halos is kind of tilted, much like the conversation we're having on tonight. I know I had to tilt it a little bit. It's been a while since we brought some of these fun topical conversations to the platform. Don't worry, I've been in my bag, Karen. I've been in my bag. And
right bag.
Speaking of being in our bag, we try and pay loose attention to what's going on in the world.
Yes.
And last time that I checked, eggs is still $10 for 12 at the grocery store. I got to start a little trouble. I got to poke the bear a little bit. I got to poke the bear a little bit.
Yeah.
And we have a looming. Well, actually, we just at the beginning of a tariff war.
Are we though? Because I feel like we playing double dutch with the tariffs.
Like
we jumping in. I'm not mad. Go ahead, give me a little bit more time. I'm just saying, but
it's an accurate description, though. I like that double dutch with the tariffs, because 1 minute is this, 1 minute it's that.
Yes.
And with the tariffs and really trying, the administration is making the effort to make America great again. And notice my mind was on global warming today, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that one of the particular tariffs is against lumber, Canada and the lumber.
Yeah.
And that it has been stated publicly that we don't need the lumber from Canada because we have the lumber here on this good old U.S. soil. But the national parks won't let us cut it down. Can we talk about the importance of land preservation in this day and age, and what it really does, and how it truly does affect our quality of life?
Yeah.
I got to bring that up because, I remember years ago, I was taking a ride on one of these 2-lane highways with LJ, and she was watching the trees, and she saw the fog, the mist rising from the trees.
Right.
And she asked me what it was about. And for that ride, we had a whole conversation about what the mist was and photosynthesis.
Nice. Okay. Smarty pants.
Yeah, and how the leaves on the tree actually act as an agent for us earthlings, us
Yes.
mammals, and all of the inhabitants of the earth who enjoy breathing clean air. Now, while I understand, yeah, we got some huge, gorgeous trees just out there in the wilderness that some of us may never have the ability to lay our eyes on. But I kind of feel, well, shoot, I know that them trees is out there with all them green leaves being preserved for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Not only to help keep our air clean, as much as possible with all the pollutants we tend to put into the air. Um,
Facts.
but these historic land preserves, right?
Yes.
They're
Yes.
preserving the land for a reason. And we often make reference to a lot of these revelatory movies we've seen in the past. Now we know what happened when you get to fracking in Yosemite. What happens when you get to fracking in Yosemite?
Yeah, we can have a problem.
I,
Mm-hmm.
I, I would tend to think that the geologists and the forestry officials that sat in the boardroom and made the decision to say, please don't cut these trees, they gave a strong reasoning supporting statement as to why. Not only a supporting statement, they came with statistics, they came with numbers, they came with math. And maybe it's just me because I enjoy driving through, my little small town life, and I get to see the leaves on the trees swing in the wind, when there's
Mm-hmm.
just the right amount of breeze. I get to go outside, especially down this time of year, and go and need allergy medication because of the pollen
Right,
from
right.
being in bloom. That is not a complaint. I enjoy being able to say, hey, it's too much pollen. I need to go get one of these heel pills to make sure I
Facts, facts.
survive from day to day. What's really going on with
Yeah.
us not showing Mother Nature the respect she is due? What's really going on, Karen?
So we got a couple of things, right? Y'all go ahead and start messing with Yogi Berra and them here. We not ready. Stop it. Okay. We got to think about that. It used to be a cartoon, but we learned stuff, right? Smokey and the Bear, we learned stuff from them. It was a reason why they be like, only you can prevent forest fires. Yogi, he coming to get the snacks. He don't care how high you put him. He got a shenanigan. Y'all think this is a joke, but it's a real thing. Here's one of the challenges for me, Tilted, is that as we see so much talk about eliminating waste, and what people might think will be helpful for us, right? What seems good may not be good for us. So we need the scientists. We need the research. That some of this research is getting unfunded, defunding the researchers in the name of saving money. But if we get things out of order, lives will not be saved. Like the science is there, right? These sacred grounds keep us safe to at least have some good air to breathe, some place to have that open space where it's just land, you and God, right? And so when we see all of this stuff, global warming has been here before this administration. So it's not like we're blaming any one person, but we gotta be careful about the things that we're saying yes to, because there is a consequence that we could act like we gonna ignore it, right? It's still, the earth is the earth. Mother Nature does what Mother Nature does. The pollen comes, whether it's rain, snow, sleet, slice, what you call it, snice, whatever, snow and ice coming together, whatever you're calling it, it's still coming. And we have to be careful that there are certain things that happen in the wilderness that we want to keep out there. Okay, we need
Girl.
Bambi and them to stay out there. We need Yogi and his crew to stay there, because when they start showing up for the cookouts, y'all ain't gonna like it. I said, they ain't gonna like it, Tilted.
They're not gonna like that.
What you think? Like, is Yogi gonna be
No,
running to the picnic?
no, I don't want Bobcat Bill. I don't want Ricky the raccoon and his whole clique pulling up. I don't know how to survive
Yeah.
with the wilderness. Y'all know when I go camping, it's more of a glamping situation. I need a
Yes,
four-wall
child.
structure with a locking door, that type of deal. I'm not about that tent life. Just never have been. You can get me in an RV, but you can't get me in no tent. Even as a young child going away to sleepaway camp, there was log cabin.
Yes,
Hand
ma'am.
in style. Okay, we are not fooling with the moose.
Not the moose.
Girl, that's what's out there in Yosemite and stuff like
I
that. From what
believe
I
you.
heard.
That's why, no.
No, just none of that. You really they may really want to consider it. I mean, not for nothing. How many inches of snow did y'all have? Um, down in North Kakalaki. How many inches of snow did y'all have?
We had about 5-6 inches of snow.
And that don't happen.
Listen, okay, I've been down here 8 years, sis. You know my number one reason for coming down here, because wasn't no snow. I'm not about. I had to go out and buy boots just to prepare for snow. Now you know what that let me know. The rest of these folks, I don't really always have something nice to say. They wasn't prepared. They wasn't prepared. They was like, well, we gonna have a snow day. We not having no snow day, okay? They shutting everything down. We had a state of emergency for 5 inches of snow. Come on now. What we doing? That is not no major snowstorm. We literally had state of emergency for 5 inches of snow. That's
5 inches of snow. And listen, it's not supposed to be snowing in North Carolina.
It is
It's
not.
really not. But I guess it's safe to say, we really are seeing some of the words of the scriptures just pop up off the pages and be like, hey, girl, didn't know I was coming, did you? But now we're here and we're seeing these things. And, my prayer is not only for myself, but for all of us that through these early phases of what we're getting ready to walk through together, I just pray that we all have eyes to see and ears to hear the truth of what's really going on. Because like you said, Karen, everything that sound good for us ain't necessarily good for us. And, I'm curious to know because, we are some wasteful consumers here in this country. Can I just put it to you that way? We some wasteful consumers, and sometimes we'll build a thing and we'll not like it, and then we'll just decide to destroy it and build it back up again. So I wonder how many trees is finna be left. That were not genetically engineered with some, genetic growth hormone to make the trees grow faster.
We trying to find the grapes with the seeds in them down here, so I don't know what to tell you.
Girl, I just be having these questions like, well, if y'all cut down all the trees and you trim them down and you're making pencils and you're making desks and you're making houses and jewelry box and toys for the children, if that's what you into, hey, all this stuff is made out of wood. The houses that are being thrown up, copy and paste style, they still have wood frame structures.
You do.
So
Wait, I know.
My new favorite sound. A lot of times when I have no words, I got nothing.
But it says so much with so little. It says so much.
And maybe that's because I'm one of those folks that like hiking in the middle of all them trees. Maybe it's that.
Yeah.
But I wonder what this society would look like. We've seen glimpses again in these wonderful movies. What was it? Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome?
Yes.
That was one of the early foretellings of things to come. if we're not careful and we, continue to just head straight down this path that we are on as a
Yeah,
global society, because it's not just here in the United
right.
States, but my focal point is the United States, because all of these trees is right around the corner.
Yes. Yes.
You
But it
know,
but it goes deeper. It goes deeper. So we got to be careful about the decisions that we're making for today because they're affecting somebody's tomorrow. And yeah, this is not a joke.
it's no joke at all. I mean, it really is. We're at a point in our lives where we really do need to sit and take the opportunity to determine what it
Hmm.
is that we really need, as opposed to grafting over the things that we want. Um,
Facts.
with so many different people losing their jobs unexpectedly and suddenly with no severance packages, we made mention of the village. We're going to keep making mention of the village as we walk through this season together. Check on your village.
Yes.
um, Somebody in your village may have a skill that you can benefit from.
Absolutely.
Somebody in your village might be able to pop online and host a private little cooking class to teach you how to make some delicious zucchini bread, Rhonda. I'm sorry. Somebody in your village may
Turn me
be
up.
able to help write out a step-by-step guide to help you achieve your goals. Coach Cash.
Yes, ma'am.
Somebody in your village might be able to bless you with some of the nail care get rights at a nominal cost and yet still make a profit. Marisol Cologne.
Hey,
So yeah, I'm making mention of the people within our village that
I like
already
it.
have so many gifts in their baskets to share. Please, ma'am, please, sir, take the opportunity to think about what your contribution to your village can be in this season.
Mm,
We're grateful for the people who are saying, "Hey, I got eggs. Come on over here and buy them for a cheaper
yes.
price." We're grateful for the people who are opening up their consignment shops and their thrift stores, where some of us may need a frock or two to go somewhere and be fancy. We could still be fancy on a budget. These are ways that we can contribute to our society. Some of you may be masons out there, some plumbers, some HVAC people. Listen, we do understand that everybody got to eat to live. We do understand that everybody got to eat to live. But perhaps, and we made mention of this earlier today, Karen, maybe you can tithe a portion of your talent
Come
to
on now.
someone in need in your community. Ooh, maybe you are the repair or restoration specialist that can help someone see the vision in repurposing that dresser as opposed to just throwing away that good wood. Maybe you got a sander and y'all can make a project. And while completing the project, you can make a friend.
And
Ooh,
that's
just
good.
a suggestion. Just a suggestion. I don't know where these things be coming from, but it's the global warming. It's the global warming that I'm on, because it seems like the hearts need to be involved, of the people need to be
Yeah.
involved in this global warming. Our
Yeah.
hearts need to be a
Yep.
little
Yep.
bit more warm towards one another. Yeah,
I
because
like
people
it.
is
I
just
like
doing some people things. Yeah, can global hearts warming. That's
it. Love
it.
it.
Let's have some global heart warming, to combat some of the negativity in the world. And I ain't even get to my just be on tonight. I'm feeling very, very, very
Listen.
inspired. And I
That
think
felt
our
very
guest tonight also.
appetizing.
Huh?
That felt very much like an
Look,
appetizer.
an appetizer. Yeah, a little something, a little shrimp on it. Global hearts warming. That's right. Let's keep our hearts warm. Y'all, it's easy to turn cold, but I promise you, you want to be warm as opposed to cold any day. So look, You've tuned into Unhinged Live. It's your girl Tilted Halo, sitting alongside my good girlfriend Karen Sims Harrell of Twisted Threads LLC. And we are swiftly approaching the end of tonight's broadcast. So you said that I gave a bit of an appetizer. So maybe I threw out the appetizer in preparation for this hearty meal that you fixing to feed us, Karen. Coach Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah, with this week's reflections of purpose. So, I got a special garnishment and I hope it's suitable for tonight's meal. Look, it's some honey balsamic dressing. I would put it up, but the manufacturer, look, you can see the back. Not the front. They ain't giving me no check to sell their product.
Yeah.
I'll put something on this word. So Coach Cash.
Yes.
Go ahead. Take it away with this week's reflection of purpose.
Love it. Love it. Y'all know, as always, I'm coming with the title, and today we talking about premium gas. Now, listen, I'm gonna say it already. My best friend might be better than yours, okay? Because the conversations that we have in our production meetings, we don't even sometimes mean for them to be production, but they always are. Premium gas, y'all. So listen. I have conversation and I share with somebody, a lot of times we treat our life as if we put ourselves on the back burner. And shout out to our tribe family, because we really do are dedicated to self-care, dedicated to mental health, well-being, and just well-being in general, right? But conversation came in that I drive a luxury car, right? And this ain't a boast moment. Because the way these gas prices go, I'll be like, but why? Why am I driving this car? No, I don't want to go nowhere. So don't point of the matter. Don't ask me to go outside unless you know it's going to be worth my time, because I got to spend gas. But the premium gas costs more. Why? And so I had this conversation with my husband. I was like, he was the one. He said, you got to put premium gas in your car. And you know why? I said, why you tell me to put premium gas? He said, because if you put regular gas, it's going to mess up your system. And I say that, apply that in your own life, because that premium gas, you got to treat yourself with what you're eating, with what you are digesting, what you're ingesting, what you're watching, what you're reading, how you are spending time to encourage yourself, and treat yourself like you are premium. You that premium ride outside. So if you got one of the names, I'm not saying the name because I drive it, but they don't pay me to drive it. The people who know. However, if you treat yourself and you just put the regular in there, you're just going from point A to point B. You may not really care about the experience. But for those of us who put premium gas in our car, premium things in our mind, it's purposeful because we got somewhere to go and we want to enjoy the experience. So tonight I want to remind you, make sure that you are surrounding yourself with the premium gas people, right? The premium gas people don't care how much regular gas is, because the price is the price, and we know it, right? We're going to cry in our little area and be like, I don't even know why this gas that high. But when we go outside with intention. Why? Because regular gas too high. Premium gas is even higher, but you cannot miss the moments of treating yourself like you are top notch. You are top shelf. So for those of y'all who drink, y'all ain't drinking nothing out the bottom shelf. Y'all, what y'all got on the top shelf? Y'all got that Don Julio over there? Okay, never mind. We gonna keep it. Whatever wine you drinking, whatever grape juice you drinking, because we got good grape juice. We got muscadine grape juice down here that we keep in the house, but it is a quality grape juice. It ain't that other one that you buy by the gallon. Okay, I promise you that other good grape juice is the premium stuff. Make sure you putting premium in your mindset. Make sure you putting premium in the food that you eat. Shout out to Rhonda, who is reminding us Meatless Mondays, right? All of March, we doing Meatless Mondays. I think I got like 70% of my day meatless, Rhonda. We're going to work on that last 25%, and then these Mondays going to be meatless. But it's a reminder, to reset and make sure that your system is getting good stuff in it. Why? Because garbage in means garbage out. But when you put good stuff in, oh y'all, look out now. Listen, this is the filet mignon of life, and that's what we're looking for our biblical folks and our faith walkers. Listen, we are reminding exceedingly abundantly above all that we can ask or think. That means premium. That's what that means. It means premium. So just want to remind you this evening as we about to wrap it up, get that premium gas out there, because that's what your life is worth, and your life will not be the same. It'll also be a directive for you. If you feel like you got folks who giving you regular gas, you need to tell them, pull up on me with the premium. Okay, tell them they got to move to the side with the regular. Pull up on me with the premium gas. Tilt it back at you.
Yes, get that premium gas. I'm here for it, and I'm grateful to find myself surrounded by premium people like you, Karen. And those of you who are in our viewing and listening audience, y'all are premium. Okay, y'all are cream of the crop. Don't let nobody treat you like you cheese whiz when you really are guacamole. Okay. Okay. Don't let nobody treat you like you cheese whiz when you really are guacamole.
I felt that.
Yeah, I said what I said. So yeah, looking at the clock, and I gotta give y'all a Just Be outro, and because we're doing a lot of soul nourishing on tonight. And as I was sitting there, I was thinking just be, but this week I got to encourage y'all to just be careful, and I got to take it there. Oh, be careful, little eyes, what you see. Oh, be careful, little ears, what you hear. Oh, be careful, little heart, mouth, what you say. Because out of the abundance of the heart does the mouth speak. And all of those orifices I made mention of are different entry points for information into your soul space, your spirit space. So when I encourage you to be careful, little eyes, what you see, stop scrolling, log off. Oh, be careful, little ears, what you hear. Turn that TV off. Turn on some worship music. Turn on the cha-cha slide. What is the new one? The boots on the ground. Listen, turn on some music and dance. Turn off that negative conversation. You ain't always got to be up on the latest think piece panel on whatever news affiliate you choose. You ain't always got to be up on that. Turn that foolishness off and turn on some joy. And be careful. Because again, what you say, because you don't know what your brother or your sister sitting alongside you might be walking through. Some of us are masterful at putting on that mask of a smile so we can face the world courageously day after day. But you don't know the tears that are cried when people get home behind closed doors. You don't know who legitimately just got that pink slip from the federal government. So make sure you do your best to allow your words to drip honey when you encounter people that you know, and even those who are strangers. But even in that, allow yourself to be human. Because we're flawed, and none of us are going to get this right, and none of us are going to get this perfect and knock it out the park every single day. Just be mindful that after you're careful and you actually make the mistake and you stumble and fall, just be mindful to give yourself the same grace that you would expect to receive from others. So just be. It's your girl, Tilted Halo. And I'm sitting alongside my good girlfriend, Karen Sims Harrell of Twisted Threads LLC. She the master life coach, y'all. I'm just taking notes. I'm trying to be like my younger sister when I grow up. If that make any sense. Karen, it's been an awesome show.
Yes, very awesome.
And y'all go on and get that book there.
Yes.
Spirit of a Hummingbird by Felicia Thai Heath. I reverence her as doctor because she came through a lot and she worked hard to get that doctor in front of her name. I celebrate all the alphabets. Absolutely beautiful soul.
Yes.
Absolutely great and easy read, y'all. and even easier to listen to on Audible, because guess what? Felicia narrated her own book in the audio space. So you get to hear more of her lovely voice. And make sure, if you can and if you will, and you find it not robbery, go over there to her social medias and keep up with what she got going on over there, because she is extremely creative. All right. So, all right, Karen, I guess we finna log off of this here thing.
I think so.
All right, y'all. Did we say that the tribe was going to be back next week?
Next week.
Tribe going to be in the building. Y'all already know. Get your snacks.
Yeah.
Get your concoctions. Get your people. It's Unhinged Live, and we out.